Be a part of the best pro wrestling podcast today at patreon.com/Steve and Larson. Enjoy tons of bonus videos, including patron-only live shows, gameplay, and vintage 10 for the wins, access to podcast question threads, the Friendo Care Package, and so much more. Support Going In Raw today at patreon.com/Steve and Larson.
What's up, it's your girl Sasha Banks, the legit boss, and you are watching Going In Raw. You like that?
Hey, friendo, Steve here.
And Larson.
And welcome back to Going In Raw, the only pro wrestling podcast you can be listening to right here at youtube.com/Steve and Larson. Taped live at twitch.tv/Steve and Larson. And of course, available wherever podcasts can be found. SummerSlam 2020 is in the books. I thought a wildly fun show, punctuated by the return of Roman Reigns right after the Fiend in the main event regained his Universal Championship from Braun Strowman. And Roman looked amazing. He looked jacked.
Oh, man. Jacked.
His teeth look amazing, Larson. Yeah, kind of a shocking moment. We weren't sure. We speculated on this earlier this week. We were talking about Thunderdome. Would this signal the return of superstars who have been sitting out the empty arena era? Roman Reigns, he's back, man. He's back, and he held up that Universal Championship pretty high. I don't know where you want to start on SummerSlam, man. What do you want to talk about first?
Well, I mean, I guess we could do broad strokes first. Of the two WWE shows this weekend, I didn't expect to say this. SummerSlam was the one I enjoyed the most.
For me, it wasn't even close. SummerSlam was actually a blast. I had a lot of fun.
Yeah, there wasn't a dud the whole night.
Yeah.
Wasn't a dud.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, shout out to the Enforcer, Stevie Bradley, for joining us on the stream. Now with the advent of Steve Notes, coupled with the Legacy Larson Notes, Enforcer being there to mod, to read some super chats, to throw questions at us.
It's massive help. Enforcer is the absolute best.
He's terrific.
Yeah, top to bottom, really fun show. A couple really spectacular matches. The return of Roman. A couple of matches had somewhat kind of underwhelming, maybe, or anticlimactic finishes. But of course, we're on the road to Payback ultimately, which is next weekend.
That's the
you
bigger
set
deal.
Up those rematches.
The bigger deal. Payback is
at Payback next weekend. Don't worry about SummerSlam.
Yeah.
Worry about Payback.
SummerSlam, let's be honest, SummerSlam is like a glorified episode of Main Event, really.
More or less.
Where
this is less pay-per-view, more network special.
You're just setting things up for Payback, the big event of the year.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, if you keep that in mind, it kind of makes sense. But top to bottom, fun show. Roman coming back is probably going to make the most waves, make the most news, considering he's been out since about Mania. Look great. New T-shirt's awesome. Teeth look great. He looks great.
Yeah,
he looks great.
Yeah, wreck. What is it? What do the T-shirts say? Wreck everything,
everyone and leave.
Wreck everything or everyone and leave.
Something like that.
That's awesome. That's great.
That's a good catchphrase.
I hope he's done with the vest.
I hope so too, because I saw a picture of him, I assume post workout on Instagram or something, saying shirt, and he looked amazing.
Nice.
I mean, I don't know why, if he was keeping the vest on because of Shield legacy or what,
or if he thought he was a FPOS. I don't know.
Yeah. But I mean, if the latter was the issue, that's not an issue anymore. He's jacked.
Yeah. Another big news.
He still had the cargo pants and the boots, though. He still had that.
Other big news coming out of SummerSlam: Keith Lee has quantum leaped to Raw.
Yeah, they wasted no time.
Zero time. Yeah.
Announcing he's going to Raw.
They had that turd of a match at TakeOver, and then he went straight to Monday Night Raw.
Well, we mentioned briefly last night about Karrion Kross potentially hurting himself. Triple H more or less confirmed on the conference call following TakeOver that Karrion Kross was hurt. Since that we've learned he did separate his shoulder. Not sure the magnitude of the separation or injuries apart from that. I guess he's having an MRI on Monday. But my understanding is that it happened not early in the match, but within the first half, roughly.
Yeah. So,
that could have, altered what they had planned if he didn't think he could do some of the stuff because he was worried about his shoulder. So, we were fairly critical of it last night. You got to keep, I guess now in hindsight, got to keep that in mind when considering it. But yeah, top to bottom tonight, fun show, hit some cool story beats. And the highlight, the match of the night for me was easy. It was Asuka and Sasha Banks.
Oh,
spectacular.
Terrific
spectacular
stuff. Yeah.
Absolutely spectacular.
Yeah, real terrific stuff. You know, I'll be honest with you, man. The highlight for me might have been, although it doesn't really reflect in my star ratings because I didn't give this match as high a star rating as I gave Banks Asuka. But in terms of the sheer emotion of the story and the story being told, Seth and Dominick.
That was good.
I thought that was absolutely just such a fun match. I thought that was, boy, that was a compelling match.
Even though that's the one that caused you to lose predictions.
Let's talk about it now. All right. Get this piece of shit off my... I'm done with him, man. This guy's been causing trouble in my house. Big Red. Fuck you, Steve. What? Nothing.
I mean, it's just you talking anyways. But you get a chance to win it back next week.
I don't know if I want to win it back next week. I might tank predictions, keep this guy out of my house. Although, of course, later on this week at some point, I will be bleaching this side of my hair.
You only have to do a streak, man. I just said a streak.
Well, I know what you said, but the spirit is Seth Rollins. And Seth Rollins, I forgot. I thought it was just a streak. You know, he had the whole damn thing done.
Yeah, it was like a quarter of his head.
I'm going to look like a complete asshole.
That's okay. I mean, I was going to look like an asshole if I had to have the Hogan mustache. So I
know. I think you would have.
Hey, I had to wear a neck tattoo for a week. So
I totally forgot that shit. That was
after Mania.
That was great. Oh man, so many memories here with Big Red. I've had this thing for like 8 months, minus 1 week. Holy crap, this might be all...
Well, no, that 1 week, I said just keep it there, save you the trip, and then I have to write a poem about you. So you've had it the whole time.
No, I mean, I've had it. It's been... I have been the champion for 8 months minus 1 week.
Yeah.
So I'm happy with my reign. Get this thing out of me. I'm like Bruno. I need a break from Big Red.
Oh, yeah. maybe I'll tank predictions next week just giving back to you.
No, it's going to be just us trying to tank
drive you crazy even more. Anyways, we're talking too much about an inanimate object. Let's talk about this wrestling show.
All right.
Kicked off in the pre-show U.S. title match. Apollo Crews taking on MVP. I don't know where they're gonna go with Hurt Business after this. I assume maybe they'll finally get Bob Lashley into the program with Apollo Crews.
Maybe.
I was actually honestly pretty surprised that wasn't the match at SummerSlam. MVP's been doing spectacular work. So maybe they just wanted to keep that storyline going because he's been really good. MVP didn't have quite enough to get the win tonight. It was a fun match. It was on the kickoff show, so they kept it relatively brief. But Crews is really awesome. I'm happy he's a champion. I'm happy they're letting him do something more interesting than just like being there.
Yeah.
What he was kind of doing for a couple of years.
Yeah.
He's one of those guys that I don't know if it's because he was local to the Orlando area. He was given an opportunity to be used more regularly. And he's taken advantage of it and really elevated himself. Hopefully he has in the eyes of Vince, too.
Everything you said, I just copy and paste because I agree. Love him to death. Think he's great. I mean, I don't know if a match against MVP, look, ideally none of the superstars will have the stigma of being just on the kickoff show, but you're still on, you're on TV, you're getting the pay-per-view match. There's only 8 matches plus this one. Wait, this made it 8, didn't it? Yeah, this made it 8.
Yeah, this was the 8th match, yeah.
A lot of stories out there aren't getting on the show, so they did. I thought this was a fairly, for these two guys, especially Apollo Crews, who's shown, like, I'll never forget that Aleister Black match, which was just a classic. Great. I know this is a kickoff. I don't understand why they don't ask for better matches on the kickoff. Like, if you can say, hey, go out there and do a killer match, and I know it's on the kickoff, but if you want people to watch the kickoff, why don't you incentivize it? If
the kickoff is your advertisement for the pay-per-view to follow, give them a hell of a match on the kickoff show. The kickoff show was like 50 minutes, people talking and recap packages and a 10-minute match roughly.
And honestly, like getting rid of Shelton Benjamin and Bobby Lashley from ringside lessened the drama in this. So I'll be honest, I gave it 2 stars. It was a straight up wrestling match. It's a standard mid-card Raw, Monday Night Raw.
See, I felt like MVP had a little more pep in his step. He was doing a couple things that were outside the norm. He shaved his goatee off too. Hurt Business had great shirts, new shirts with gold ink on it.
Listen, if I'm rating the shirts, I'm going to give that 4 stars. But I'm not rating the shirts.
The finish was good, too. Crews was going for his finish. MVP escaped, was looking for his finish. Crews escaped that to hit his own finish to get the win. Afterwards, Hurt Business hits the ring. Apollo Crews escapes. It wasn't long. I actually quite enjoyed this, even though I picked MVP and he lost. I gave it 3 1/3 stars.
Okay, that's cool, man. That's cool. We don't have to agree on this stuff. Next up, Bayley versus Asuka. Hell of a way to kick off the show. This is a really I really enjoyed this match. This was great.
This was really good too. This was really good too. Asuka was in two awesome matches.
Yeah.
Tonight, before the match, they had a lot of these picture-in-picture promos before matches tonight. Did you notice that?
Yeah, I did. Yeah.
They were fairly common. I feel like maybe I was listening to the volume too low, or the volume on those were too low. I had a hard time hearing them.
Yeah. I don't know.
So I don't really recall what she said, but there was a promo.
Wait, was it Asuka?
Yeah.
Yeah. No, she spoke some in Japanese like she usually does. She kind of hit her regular beats here. She said,
well, I heard no one is ready for Asuka. I heard that.
Yeah. I mean, there wasn't a whole lot before then.
Right.
But anyways, yeah, I don't really have a whole lot of notes here because I was really into this. I saw this. Really Bayley went for an elbow. Asuka countered into an armbar. Bayley got to the ropes. So the finish saw Sasha up on the apron trying to distract. She eats a hip attack, and then Bayley's able to get the roll-up victory for 3 there. Yeah.
Throughout this match, though, Bayley is going after Asuka's leg.
Yeah.
And that would come into play later on when Asuka faced Sasha. But both this match, Asuka and Bayley and Asuka Sasha, were like hard-hitting.
They were really physical.
Asuka did crazy DDTs in both of them.
Yeah, especially the Sasha Banks match. That match had some stuff. There were a couple of spots tonight that caused us both to like just shriek out in horror because there were some spots that were just, and that really happened in the Asuka Sasha Banks match.
But like early on in this one, Asuka hits the DDT off the ring steps on Bayley.
Yeah,
like in the very beginning, 'cause she starts fast.
Yeah,
but really fun match. Bayley picks up the win. Afterwards, Sasha gets in the ring. She starts beating up on Asuka. Her and Bayley hit the double powerbomb thing they do. And Sasha's like, all right, I'm ready for a match later. After that,
I gave that match 3.25 stars.
Really?
Yeah, thought it was a good match.
Wow. I gave it 4.25.
That's a lot.
Yeah, you're really low tonight. Usually you're pretty generous with these ratings.
That's a lot. 4 stars is a lot.
Yeah, it was really good.
It was a solid match. So after the match, Sasha and Bayley beat down Asuka. I think you mentioned that. Of course, again, targeting the leg. That targeted. That sort of played into the Sasha match. We'll get to that in a bit. After that, Rey's in the locker room with Papi Mysterio and his mom. I'm assuming that's his mom. Well,
Dominick, you said Rey was in there with his dad and mom, so it's Dominick in there.
Dominick in there with his dad Rey and his mom, Mrs. Mysterio, and Dom is like, "Hola, papi, solamente Dominick. I want to be alone, Dominick alone." And then Rey's like, "Okay, well, I'm going to be in your corner, but I'm not going to get involved." That's what he wanted. Yeah, don't get involved.
Yeah, Dominick was pleading with his dad, don't get
Rey
involved.
Said,
it's my fight.
I want to get involved, but I'm not going to get involved. So
you have my word.
Yeah, but he made his mom leave and watch this on the monitor first. After that, Kevin Owens came out to commentate for the Street Profits versus Andrade and Angel Garza match. They got a picture-in-picture promo where they said that they want the smoke.
Yeah, they're balling tonight, but they're not playing games. They want the smoke.
They want the smoke.
They want the smoke.
Yeah.
This was a decent enough bout. There's a pretty standard formula for most Street Profit matches. Montez Ford gets muffins, and he's isolated for the middle, like 2/3 of the match. Dawkins gets a hot tag, and like a minute and a half later, they hit their finish. In this case, though, Zelina Vega gets up on the apron towards the end. Ford is pushed into her. She gets knocked off the apron. Andrade, rather than concentrate on the bout, he runs around the ring to check on her. That allows Street Profits to set for their finish to get the win.
Yeah. Fun match. Disappointed in the outcome because directly led me to losing my title. But I gave it 3 stars. Thought it was a decent match.
Yeah, that's what I gave it to.
On the Steve notes, I think I ended up giving it 3.5, but I just downgraded it to 3 because I was like, I'm not going to give this
almost as much as
more
Asuka
stars
and Bayley
than Asuka and Bayley, which I only gave 3.25.
Yeah, I don't know why. Are you sure that's not a typo?
I'm sure. Yeah. No.
That match was way better.
4 stars means a lot to me.
That match was way better than 3.25 stars.
Well, to you, yeah.
You're getting to Meltzer territory here, being extra critical WWE matches.
Whoa,
I don't know about
dude,
you.
I'm the WWE stan of us, man. Come on. I defend everything.
After that, we had a Sasha and Bayley interview. Kayla brings up that Sasha helped Bayley win, and Bayley's like, oh, poop on you. That's BS. Says, look at those hard-hitting journalistic questions, but I'm not going to let you ruin our moment. And then she asks Sasha, hey, Sasha, will Bayley return the favor? And Sasha says, well, if Bayley can beat Asuka, so can I.
Well, she said it like, well, if Bayley can beat Asuka, I know I can. And Bayley was like, yeah, I know you can. Like, watch how you're using those words and the inflection you have on them. Yeah. Because that's like, it's like me saying, well, if Larson can beat Hilton, I know I can at whatever game we might be playing. Exactly, right? That's a crappy thing to say.
Yeah, it is. It is a crap thing to say.
I'm assuming it's something like Trivial Pursuit and nothing like physical.
What?
It's like neither of us can beat Hilton at anything physical, I don't think.
There's got to be something.
We'll find it. Well, except for bowling. Where's my ring? Except for bowling, I completely could. I mean, you guys could team up on me if you want. I could beat you.
When this whole virus thing is over, let's test that theory.
Got the 300 ring right now, man.
Let's test that theory.
What test? I got the ring.
No, you just said that Hilton and I combined couldn't beat you. I just want to test that.
Okay. So
I mean, you threw it out there, not me. I just want to test that theory.
So
anyways,
Bayley had a broom in this interview too. She was saying we're gonna go for the big sweep. I don't think they did the ding dong thing though. That's my favorite.
No, not today. Although I like when Sasha goes.
I know. They're great.
That cracks me up. Next, we had a Mandy and Sonya video package, which of course meant next. Was Sonya versus Mandy. Of course,
slick Mandy now.
Yeah, it went from hair versus hair to loser leaves WWE.
Yeah. Now, given the circumstances, I mean, we both figured, regardless, Mandy was going to win this thing. I really liked the Enforcer's idea of Sonya winning and Otis offering up his completely and totally useless Money in the Bank briefcase. This dude ain't cashing in against Braun, the Fiend,
sure hell ain't cashing
Roman.
Against Roman.
Nobody. Right? He's not going to cash in on anybody. Maybe Roman Reigns is back. That briefcase is going to be useless. The tags, maybe the tags. Who's got the tags titles right now on SmackDown?
Man, what a huge mistake was giving Otis that briefcase.
Who's got the tag titles right now? You know, if AJ had it, it'd be totally legit. It'd be like, whoa, Roman's back and AJ has the briefcase? That's going to be dangerous.
I know.
Not with Otis,
but no, Otis has it.
Anyways, I really enjoyed this match. This is fun, man. This is like, this really honestly felt like, so it seems like, and again, there's no confirmation on this, but it's easy to kind of maybe put two and two together. The fact that the stipulation changed at the last minute from hair versus hair to loser leaves WWE. Sonya Deville just went through something pretty traumatic in her life. Maybe she's taking time to step away and, get her head right, maybe seek some counseling. I don't know what she's going to be doing, but maybe that's just what she needs. And no one can blame her for that. It's a pretty terrible thing she went through. Yeah. So you figured that Mandy was going to win regardless, be it the story or whatever, or now with this happening. But it really, honestly, dude, this felt like two people who obviously are very, very close, just trying to put on the match of their career and really going at it. And I think they succeeded in every way that they could possibly succeed. I think they did a great job. It was a very physical match.
Yeah, it was. Mandy came out with, which kayfabe made sense, a sense of urgency and intensity.
Well, yeah, what I noticed
from her yet
about her entrance, her entrance is a very slow-moving entrance theme. And she did not walk to the pace of that music. She went straight. No,
she made a beeline of the ring. Yeah. She didn't run, but she walked with purpose and whatnot. She did, and I guess the vignetting they have on the corners,
that was gone.
It's kind of blurry. That was gone.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was definitely kind of a renewed Mandy Rose. But yeah, this match was physical. There was a table out there, chairs. I love that bit where the table's set up and Mandy is grabbing chairs from under the ring and sliding him across the table, trying to hit Sonya.
That was fun, man. That was cool. That was creative.
Creative, exactly. Yeah. And in the end, it took Mandy hitting.
Dude, it was a lot of knees.
A knee. I don't know what she calls it, but Ciampa's fairy tale ending, and then another knee. So 4 knees and a fairy tale ending to get the win.
Yeah.
But really hard hitting match. A lot of fun.
I thought this was great, man. I thought it was, you know, and then they had Otis come down at the end, and he sort of did the Macho Man Elizabeth thing where he put Mandy on his shoulder, and then she came down and tried to do the the caterpillar or whatever. And she was having such a hard time doing it, but it was so adorable to see that, because obviously, I mean, look, I don't think Otis and Mandy are like a real life couple, but they obviously really like each other. Like she has said several times, they're really close friends. And
they get along
we've
really
seen
well,
that play out like going years ago. Like Otis dressed up as Mandy for like one of the Halloween Battle Royals ages ago. And it really did feel like a special moment. Yeah, they're like firmly in the mid card, but this was a big moment for that feud, which has been going on for a while now. And I thought it was really super terrific. I thought it was great.
Yeah, it was pretty good. It was pretty good. After that, we got a Seth and Dominick and Rey video package, which of course means next. Oh, what do you give that last match? What'd you give it?
3 3/4.
That's exactly what I did too.
Good job. See, on the same page sometimes.
Oh, sorry, 3 1/4. Sorry, 3
okay.
1/4.
I get damn near a 4-star match, and a lot of it not necessarily the actual wrestling, even though I thought that was solid. The emotion behind it, the build, where this was going, where it's been. You got to factor all that into the stars, man.
You love that story. You love the Otis story.
Oh, I love it. I love it because
next,
it turned into something much more, and like it eclipsed him, and it went on to Mandy.
Yeah,
and Sonya.
it has eclipsed him. Has passed him by. Next, we got Seth Rollins versus Dominick Mysterio. Shout out to Seth for rocking some ring gear, obviously inspired by Rey Mysterio's outfit at Halloween Havoc '97.
This
Purple.
was ring gear of
Brilliant.
The night.
Brilliant.
Beautiful. Just beautiful stuff.
The level of crap talk that Seth employed throughout this match, starting with the ring gear, but every time he had the advantage or Dominic, the first thing he would do is turn to Rey, who was ringside, and just talk crap. Hey, come save your kid, Rey. He was really operating on all cylinders tonight.
Yeah, this was good stuff. It really made Dom look really good too, because of the first part of this match is Seth thinking this is going to be an easy day, and Dom proving him wrong on that. You know, being able to match him.
Here's one thing Dom needs to learn about. There's a reason that no one wrestles with like a sort of top or shirt with the hood on it.
Yeah,
that I recall. I mean, there's people that have hoods on their entrance attire. I can't think of anybody who actually wrestles with something with a hood on it. Something that sounds cool maybe in theory, but in practice it looks like it was getting in his way and distracting him from time to time.
Yeah, and in
it was
fact,
distracting me as a viewer.
And in fact, if I didn't know, I mean, there were times that Seth would use that to his advantage, but it didn't play into like a finish or anything, and it really didn't change the outcome.
I think one time he just grabbed him by the hood and beat him on the head.
That was like the most obvious bit. But man, I really love the storytelling in this match, dude. So like Rey, of course, is in Dominick's corner, and I'm just thinking like, man, as a dad, the emotions that Rey just in real life are going through have to be pretty heavy to see his son out there, but also knowing that, man, this is wrestling and anything can happen. But no, I thought the story being told was absolutely great. You know, Seth, as the match progressed, being more and more sadistic. I mean, there was that bit where Murphy comes around the corner and Rey is all tied up there. He's handcuffed to the ring because Seth had introduced some handcuffs. And Murphy just has like this cartoonish number of
like a dozen kendo sticks.
He just tosses them all down and grabs one.
Well, the thing after that followed up that, so before that happened, Rey's wife walks out to the top of the stage. So Buddy comes around the corner with all those kendo sticks, and they each have one. And then Seth notices that Rey's wife is up there, and he kind of goes, and it's like, oh, this is getting potentially like pretty messed up. If he's going to take kendo sticks up to Rey's wife, that's messed up. And that's when Dominick, runs around the corner, starts beating up on Seth and Buddy. But, over the last few weeks, probably starting with Seth. Well, I guess you go back further when he took Rey's eye out. But that kind of stuff is almost like kind of cartoonishly violent.
Yeah, right.
But what Seth did to Dominick a few weeks back with the kendo stick, I mean, that's visceral. That's real. You could see those real welts on Dom. You know, he still had some of those tonight after Seth ripped his shirt off. Yeah,
Seth had some of his own. Dom took the kendo stick to him pretty hard, too.
Yeah, so the fact they're allowing Seth is pitching these ideas like, hey, if I'm going to be taken seriously, I need to up the level of violence that I'm doling out and up the level of like evil I'm employing to do that. And this match was all about that. He thought it was going to be a light day at the office for himself, but instead, he got beat up pretty good with some kendo sticks, and he had to, reach pretty deep down into his, you know, like dark soul to pull out the win here.
Yeah. And on top of that, like Dom dished out all sorts to Seth. He did that Russian leg sweep from the top through the table with the kendo stick on Seth's neck, hit a frog splash. There's that power bomb that Seth hit on Dom that made me cringe big time. I mentioned this earlier, how there were some spots on this show that just sort of made me cringe, and that was one of them. That was a nasty power bomb.
Yeah, that was nasty. So at one point, Buddy gets some handcuffs. It looks like Seth's going to try to handcuff Dom. He can't do it, so instead, he handcuffs Rey to the ropes. And I thought throughout this match, I thought they were going to do a thing where maybe where you know, Rey has promised Dom he's not going to get involved, and Dom is just getting beat up so badly. Essentially, Rey's going to throw in the towel to protect this kid. Yeah, which would be an instance of that happening. It would be totally relatable, completely, totally relatable. And once the handcuffs were produced and Rey was handcuffed to that bottom rope, I thought that's what it was going to be. That Seth was just going to take that kendo stick. I mean, I don't know if he could throw in a towel in a street fight, but he's going to take that kendo stick and just beat on Dominic until Rey just says.
Well,
done.
even if it's a matter of like Rey draping his body over Dominic to absorb the pain himself or something like that. I see what you're saying, like not necessarily throwing a towel because it's a street fight, but something like that.
Yeah. So, anyways, they cuff Rey to the rope. Seth and Buddy about to beat up on him. Seth, looks at the ramp, sees Rey's wife up there. He starts walking up, you know, arms extended. And then Dom lays him out from behind, tosses Seth into the ring steps, hits the 619 on the apron, then another in the ring, slowly makes his way up top, goes for another frog splash. He already hit one earlier in the match. Seth gets his knees up, and then Seth is more or less just like lays on top of Dom's body and pulls his head up. You know, Dom's body is just limp, and Seth is just talking trash to Seth, or to Rey, and then hits a stomp on Dom to pick up the win.
Yeah. They had that one moment, though. They did the same thing where when Rey and Brock had that match where he hits the 619, goes for the frog splash, and you think, man, this is going to be it, and then they swerve you. But Dom, same thing here. His 619, tries for the frog splash. Seth's got his knees up, like you said. Yeah. But
really good match. This match was a roller coaster. You know, we had all the predictions on the line pretty much with this match.
Yeah,
so that's
for sure.
Probably part of it.
Yeah.
But actually, there was a lot of ups and downs. I didn't figure Dom would win, but if he had, you know, snuck a roll-up win in there, wouldn't have shocked me.
Yeah, if I had thought, I legitimately did not know what was going to happen in this match. I just figured, and you called it absolutely right, and I firmly believe this is going to happen. Part of Payback's going to be, and honestly, like given the emotion of this match, I know there's probably going to be a title match or two. Well, we know there's going to be title matches at Payback. This could easily main event Seth Rollins versus Rey Mysterio as Payback, because that's like the theme of the show. And that's what this match seems like it's doing. It's setting up.
That's
Payback.
Where it's going. Yeah. Totally.
So yeah, but no, I was totally compelled by this match. I was into it. I really wanted, just like with Rey versus Lesnar, I really wanted, like as a fan, I really wanted Dom to win this. But yeah, no, I thought it was terrific. I gave it 4 stars.
No, 3 3/4 for me. Fun match.
Yeah.
Match tonight for me: Sasha Banks versus Asuka. What can you say? Asuka, not only MVP of SummerSlam, she's been MVP of 2020 for me at least.
For me too.
She's on every week, putting on killer matches. She's been the focal point of so much in the empty arena era. Had such great moments. Vince is finally recognizing what an incredible talent she is in utilizing her to her fullest, which he hadn't done pretty much since she got called up to the main roster.
Yeah. Dude, I love this match. There were some big moments like these. It's as if, because you know we know a little bit about Asuka's career prior to NXT, and knowing like the kind of lumps that she could take, and it's as if Sasha was out there trying to say, hey, I'm as tough as you are. Some of these were just absolutely crazy. I mean, to be honest though, two of them were on Asuka. That apron power bomb.
Oh, the sunset power
out
bomb
of nowhere.
Yeah,
was just insane. And at that point we're like, are they just watching New Japan now? Is that what's happening?
Well, then right after that, Sasha boots Asuka right in the head.
Oh, dude, and it looks so legit. It looks super legit.
But I love the first thing Sasha does As soon as that bell rings, bang, after Asuka's knee. Right on it.
Asuka dropped Sasha Banks with a DDT from the top turnbuckle.
Yeah.
That was
It
amazing.
wasn't like one of those ones that Enzo does where he jumps off the top and DDTs. They were both up on the top rope.
Yeah. That was great.
DDT. But just like from the technical aspect of the wrestling in this,
Yeah.
like it was basically flawless.
Oh, dude, it was great. It was so
basically
smooth.
the finish was smooth. It was fast.
Yeah, I was sitting there. I was like, shit, what just happened? I'm trying to write down these
know.
damn notes.
And it's not like a bunch of showy, high-flying stuff. It's just really good wrestling that is just chained together. You know, it move really well. Ever since Sasha came back from that hiatus she had, I feel like, and I know she went and trained at various places during her time off. I always thought she was really good. She has upped her game a lot.
Man, you know, the more you talk about her, the more I'm thinking, dude, it's going to be hard to choose my. Right now, I've got like a three-way tie for MVP of 2020, and it's the three ladies involved in this match: Asuka, Sasha, and Bayley. Because Sasha and Bayley's work this year has been off the charts. Bayley puts together these wrestling matches that are just off the charts great. Like she really does. This is just awesome stuff.
Just like both this match and the Bayley Asuka match, just like the wrestling, fantastic. A lot of creativity. Someone here in chat mentioned, I'm happy they did that code breaker reversal that Sasha did. So she's again in the corner. Asuka grabs her by the legs and kind of flings her up as if the power bomber kind of. And Sasha somehow reverses that into essentially a code breaker.
Yeah.
Just a lot of really great creative stuff. It's fantastic.
Yeah.
Fantastic. So towards the finish, Sasha misses a frog splash. She rolls over to Bayley, maybe for some encouragement. Asuka takes the opportunity, goes and puts her in the Asuka lock. Sasha escapes that. No, she doesn't. Asuka locks it in again. Sasha rolls through it to get like a pin, gets a 2. As soon as kick out happens, right into the bank statement. And then she does that thing where we saw in the TakeOver Brooklyn match a few years back, where her opponent's getting by the. She's done it several times since, but her opponent's getting to the rope. She pushes off the rope to roll them back towards the middle of the ring. But when she did the roll, Asuka transitioned. I just don't know how this happened into an Asuka lock.
Yeah.
So Sasha escapes that. Asuka kicks her in the gut. Bayley hops up on the apron. Asuka goes for a hip attack. She misses. However, she back fists the heck out of Bayley off the apron,
which is great because number one, it references the match that we just had with Bayley, the hip attack, and then the spinning back fist is something that just kills Bayley every single time, and it has been for like the last 3 months.
Yeah, it's great. So Sasha goes for a backstabber, but in the course of that, Asuka reverses or counters with an. I mean, I watched it. I'm like, I still don't understand exactly how this happened. Asuka counters with an Asuka lock in the process of Sasha trying to do a backstabber. So Bayley's laid out on the floor, can't break up the hold. Sasha has to tap.
Yeah, just
fantastic
terrific
stuff. Fantastic
stuff. Terrific stuff. Gave it 4 1/4 stars.
Wow, I gave it 4 3/4.
There you go. We're pretty close.
So after the match, Bayley gets in the ring. Sasha, understandably, quite distraught. And Bayley's like, here's your tag title. Sorry.
Yeah, that's going to be awkward tomorrow.
Yeah, it is.
So after that, we had the WWE title match, and it was Drew McIntyre versus Orton. I thought this is a fun match, man. It was this is better than Drew's match against Brock.
Oh yeah.
It's probably better than the Dolph Extreme Rules matches were pretty fun, to be honest with you.
Those were both a lot of fun.
But this was cool, man.
Yeah, from a storytelling perspective, it was a lot of fun because immediately Orton just was trying to hit him with an RKO. There's like 5 or 6 RKO attempts in this match.
And I love 2 things. Number one, he didn't hit any. They like, it's funny because like the Big Show kicked out of an RKO, you know, which they don't let a lot of people do that these days. I always really like
Edge did too.
Edge did too. That's a really special thing, you know, because that was like supposed to be, you know. They didn't have Drew, and Drew sold the idea of an RKO the way Foley sold it at Survivor Series 98, the Stunner. Like, freaked out by the idea that he almost ate one. And I love that.
Well, here's the thing. Remember when Drew ate the first RKO, when Randy more or less said, hey, I'm coming for the title. He said in the promo, I let it happen once. It's not going to happen again.
Yeah.
And I'm happy they actually worked that into the story of this match. Like, regardless what situation he was in, he was always cognizant of the fact that Randy could hit him at any time.
Yeah.
And regardless of how beat up he was prepared for that.
And when it happened, when the attempt happened so early, like, he took a long beat because he's like,
he rolled out of the ring. Yeah.
He's like, that could have been it right there. I love that. That was good storytelling.
It's like for himself a reminder. Okay, it happened once before. Never again. Never again. But there, towards the beginning, despite the failed RKO attempts, Randy had the upper hand for a while. He was throwing Drew around ringside, dumped him on the announce table with belly to back twice, and then suplexed him off. It was pretty great. So he gets back in the ring, and Drew's all beat up, and Randy does his pose for all the virtual fans there watching on their Zoom calls.
Yeah.
But that allows Drew to make a comeback.
Yeah.
And he starts working over Orton's knee, kind of. Orton then, that's the playbook you got to use here when you're in a fight. Kick someone in the front of the knee.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
A lot of back and forth.
Drew had him in a figure 4 at one point.
Yeah.
And Randy had to, he like pulled the ref aside and did the eye poke to Drew to get out of it.
To break it up, I know. So the finish of this saw Randy hit a draping DDT right as Drew's about to get back in the ring because they had been brawling ringside. And Randy's doing the setup for the RKO, you think, but no, he gets up and walks backward. He wants the punt. So as he's making his approach for the punt, Drew catches him, hits a nasty powerbomb, the second nasty powerbomb of the night, sets up for a Claymore. Orton dodges it. He goes for an RKO. Instead, Drew hits him with a backslide to get the win.
Yeah. Crafty Drew.
Yeah.
Outthinking Randy Orton.
The Viper.
I thought this was a fine enough match. I gave it 3 stars.
I gave it 3.5. Okay. I think the finish was kind of out of nowhere. I mean, that's the tagline of the show.
Yeah.
I think everything leading up to the finish was really, really good.
Yeah. Yeah.
But again, it's the finish that'll get us to the match next week at Payback where Randy will probably win.
Exactly. And then it's just a pay-per-view every single week after that.
I guess so.
It's like TNA back in the day. Like $10 pay-per-views every single weekend. So that was their TV. And then we had our main event, which was for the Universal Championship. I mentioned this during the live stream, man. I've sort of, given that in the last couple of weeks, they started pushing this match, kind of surprising to me, over the Drew Orton match as the main event, maybe because they knew Roman was coming back, maybe because they knew the Fiend was getting this title back. It was an actual title switch. But they started pushing this, and I kind of like that both brands now have some parity in terms of how these titles are weighted by the WWE. Like, it used to be whichever title Brock had was their biggest title. I mean, for the longest time it was Universal title, and then when he was WWE champion, it was WWE title. There's always been, going back to the days of the big gold belt and the WWE championship, those were sometimes weighted, towards the final days of the big gold belt. The big gold belt was never weighted as much when SmackDown was like totally the B show. So it's kind of nice that these titles are weighted the same way. We don't really know which one's going to main event on any particular night. Or any particular pay-per-view, rather. So, yeah, Braun versus Bray.
Given what happened at the conclusion of the match, though, it made all the sense in the world why it main evented.
Yeah, for sure. And like I said, maybe because they knew Roman was coming back, or maybe because it was just the title change, would have main evented it anyways, even if he didn't come back. What I thought you were about to say is now that Roman's back, once he has the title, there will be a clear top title in the WWE.
Yes, main event every time.
The Universal Championship.
Yep.
So anyways, yeah, this was announced. I don't know. Was this announced on SmackDown or in between SmackDown and tonight that this was a Falls Count Anywhere match?
I believe it was the latter.
Okay. So yeah, that's what I thought I saw that like yesterday on Twitter was announced as a Falls Count Anywhere match. This was a fun enough match though. It was because of the Falls Count Anywhere nature of it. It was a bit more gimmicked up. It was a bit more booked. First we saw Braun. What was this, like a choke slam and Uranagi on a table? Then the table didn't break, and it looked like he just...
Even this match, the beginning of it especially, reminded me a lot of Goldberg and Lesnar's match at WrestleMania, at the one we were there for 33.
Sure, yeah.
Where it seems like this match went longer than that, but hey, for the first 3 minutes, we're going to dump as much destruction in as we possibly can.
Sure, yeah.
This match had more story beats than that one did. Like the spear bit through the barricade, table spots, so on and so forth. I don't know, it kind of reminded me of that, where it's just like pure destruction for a really compact amount of time.
Yeah. That choke slam on the table bit was pretty nasty.
Well, pretty much the first thing the Fiend did was hit Braun with an Uranagi, then breaks his neck twice, and then Braun just rolls out of the ring and starts doing this.
He did like one very dramatic final one, like his neck was broken, and then he had to like put it back into place. I'm glad you mentioned the neck breaking thing because I totally forgot. I didn't write that down in the notes. At a certain point, so Bray ended, he kicked out at like 1.5 on a power slam. That got Braun like really flustered. They go up the ramp. Battle it out in gorilla position. We got to see gorilla position, but it was like empty. It was just lit in red lights. Up there in gorilla position, Bray hit his sister Abigail. Braun kicked out of that at 2. Eventually, they make their way back down to the ring. Fiend tries to get the mandible claw on. Braun hits his power slam, gets 2 this time. Braun picks up a box cutter because earlier in the match, Bray had got out a toolbox, sort of chucked it to the ground, and it laid a bunch of tools out, a couple of box cutters in there. So towards the finish of the match, Braun picks up a box cutter. He starts cutting up the mat and exposing the wood, and obviously to get a power slam, a running power slam, onto the exposed wood. And and he looks over. He does all that. He exposes the wood. He looks over at Fiend, and he says, "Why won't you just die?" And then Fiend sort of comes up alive and hits 2 Sister Abigails, and gets 3.
Yeah, Uranagi, Sister Abigail get the win, and then out of nowhere, Roman runs in spear.
Yeah.
Starts beating the hell out of the Fiend, and then he goes ringside, spear.
Yeah.
On Braun. He yells at Braun, "You ain't a monster as long as I'm here."
Yeah. So that'd be like kind of a cool story beat, huh? Like I didn't hear that he said that.
Yeah.
You know, he was like okay leaving because Braun was like normal smiling Braun, but now that the Fiend has brought out the monster back, and I mean that was the feud of like 2017. That was hot shit, man. Roman versus the monster Braun.
That was fantastic stuff. And so he grabs a chair and beats the hell out of Braun with it. Beats the hell out of Braun with the chair. That gets back in the ring. Another spear for the Fiend. Grabs that Universal title. Holds it over his head. So hopefully we get intense Roman. You know, he just, you know, like hopefully his shirt says it all. He just wants to wreck people.
Yeah. Not
a heel, not a face. He just wants to fight and beat people up and win titles.
Yep.
I think that's a character people can get behind.
Dude, I'll be honest with you. I'm looking forward to Raw and SmackDown this week. You know, that's weird. I
mean, Keith Lee's going to be on Raw.
I know, right?
It's worth watching Raw.
It's going to be the first Raw at the Thunderdome tomorrow. I'm looking forward to that.
Keith Lee is getting advertisement onto the pay-per-view that precedes it. That's great. They got high hopes for that guy, which is good because he's a star.
He's a big star. Big, bright, shining star. Anyways, that's it for our recap of SummerSlam 2020. Thanks, everybody, for tuning in. Thanks, everybody, for being there for our live stream earlier today for the actual show itself. Thanks to the Enforcer for hanging out with us.
Yes, thank you very much, Enforcer. You're the best, man.
Yeah, thanks for watching. Until next time, we'll talk to you guys later.
Goodbye.
Be a part of the best pro wrestling podcast today at patreon.com/Steve and Larson. Enjoy tons of bonus videos, including patron-only live shows, gameplay, and vintage 10 for the wins, access to podcast question threads, the Friendo Care Package, and so much more. Support Going In Raw today at patreon.com/Steve and Larson.